Live from 2 News. This is Talkin' Real, powered by Strong Auto Group.
Welcome into Talkin' Real. Brian Dunseth is here every Thursday sharing massive amounts of soccer knowledge with us. And Dunny, we got a win to dissect this week.
Yeah, it's nice, right? It's nice. We saw some mistakes in the opening couple of weeks for Real Salt Lake. They've righted the ship. No late breakdown, full 3 points at home. One step closer to making Rio Tinto Stadium once again the fortress that it once was.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights. Seattle in town for RSL's MLS home opener. 28th minute. Jovan Jones making a run down the wing. Settles the cross. Valdez's touch is saved, but all alone on the back post. Alonso buries it.
Well, it's a fantastic run from Jovan Jones, and the Trinidad and Tobago international was getting up and down this left-hand side, especially in that first 60 minutes or so. But that touch from Valdez had a lot of look about Kyle Laren's goal in Orlando a week ago. Ramondo gets the touch, and Ozzie Alonso, first goal in almost 100 games for the Seattle defensive midfielder.
43rd minute, RSL with the corner. Sonny gets loose and equalizes.
Well, it's one thing for Sonny to be defensively that presence that we expect game in, game out. It's another one just to pop up in a dangerous spot. And the good news, he got away from his pick, and that was Clint Dempsey. The better news, what a great header. Absolutely nothing Jovan Jones or the goalkeeper Miller can do about it.
86 minutes, still 1-1. Another set piece for RSL. Burrito comes to recycle the ball, pops it up right in front of the goal, and Thomas Olave is just a better athlete. Goes up and gets to the ball first.
Well, it starts with the foul that was committed, air quotes, on Sonny by Ozzie Alonso, but then Burrito Martinez uncorks the hips, puts it back across the goal mouth, and the rookie making his debut on his 23rd birthday gets out-jumped by a 6-foot center back. The goalkeeper caught, fair challenge, great job from the referee to allow that goal to stand.
Always good to get the 3 points, but also huge for RSL to close out Seattle the right way after what had happened in Orlando.
Well, you go on the road in Tigres in Mexico, and you've given up 2 goals, but it's not through the run of play, it's through set pieces. You go to Orlando, and you've given up 2 late goals, and those are through run of play. But then you come home, and yeah, you give up that disappointment, and give full credit to Ozzie Alonso for popping up in a dangerous spot, and it's not the goal scorers that you expect. I mean, Ozzie Alonso, Sonny, Jameson Olave. When you're talking about Real Salt Lake versus Seattle Sounders, those are not the names. Those are the last names that you're going to choose to be on the goal-scoring sheet. But what this tells me, DJ, is that this is a team that's not only coming together, but it's a team that is figuring out ways to not make mistakes over and over. And it's one thing to concede. It's one thing to kind of have a breakdown. But not making those mistakes going forward tells me that the team is learning from its mistakes. It's evolving as a group. And I think most importantly, you're getting some fantastic performances, some from very vital players. And by the way, no Javier Morales. No Javier Morales. Jordan Allen, I thought, was fantastic playing in that replicated kind of hybrid of a number 10 role.
All right, now RSL heads to the Northwest to play in one of the toughest atmospheres MLS has to offer. But it's not just the 19,000 in Providence Park that makes matches difficult. It's the turf, a playing surface the Claret and Cobalt have failed to win on in their last 11 matches.
It's such a long season that you try to really minimize the wear and tear on the guys' bodies, the joints. You know, it's one of those things where it's fine to train on, but then you feel the effects a day later, 2 days later. You know, I think the guys are used to it now mentally, and they recognize what happens with the turf. The difficult thing is in a lot of places like Orlando, it checks up. Because it's dry and it's hot. In Portland, it skips and takes off on you. So really, it's more than anything, it's attention to detail. It's attention to the reactions that we have, because it can actually sometimes at times help you too.
It's always interesting to ask the same questions to different people. Ask Chris Wingert the same thing about turf issues and training on turf.
Yeah.
Gave almost the exact same answer.
My
Everybody's the
back
same mind. It
hurts
still
just
hurts.
thinking about,
You hate turf, and training on it. It could be a different kind of turf. It wouldn't necessarily help you anyway.
Yeah.
And everyone would have the pain.
There's 2 ways of looking at it. Number one, you don't want to train on turf in the build-up to playing on artificial surface because of the injuries that can happen. The reality is it's just not as safe as it is playing on grass. And grass, listen, you can still have injuries. It just doesn't matter. It's the game of soccer. It's incredibly physical. But the other thing is, as you said, turf's different. The artificial surface at, say, Rice Eccles is drastically different than the artificial surfaces at Providence Park. The same thing goes for New England. The same thing goes for Vancouver. The same thing goes for Seattle. The good news, though, is that players actually don't mind playing on this artificial surface in Portland because it's the highest rated artificial surface there is in North America. It's a fantastic place to play, and it also comes down to atmosphere. So the question then becomes, what does the starting 11 look like for the Portland Timbers? And I got my new little gadget, so I'm really, really excited about this. So you take a look at the Portland Timbers starting 11, and the big news, Zarek Valentin comes inside. Because Liam Ridgewell is out with a hamstring injury for 4 to 6 weeks, that means Jermaine Taylor, the former Houston Dynamo center back, comes in and plays alongside Nat Borchers. Keep an eye on Alvis Powell. He'll want to get forward. Diego Chara is going to sit in front of that back four, but Darlington Nagbe and Diego Valeri will have the opportunity to pop up in dangerous spots. The relationship, though, between Milano and Asprilla with the big man, Fernando Adi, who's celebrating with a Nigeria national team call-up. On the other side, for Real Salt Lake, I think it's going to look very similar to what it did against Seattle, but the big news is that I think Javier Morales comes back in, recovered from that hip, quad, and rib injury that he was dealing with. Chris Wingert, I think, retains his place. No disrespect to DeMar Phillips, but I think Wingert was fantastic once again. But I have questions, and I'll tell you why. I have questions about this man, Jamison Olave, not based on his play, not based on what's happened over the 2 games, but because of the artificial surface, because of the knee issues that he has had in terms of recovering off the backside. Plata's relationship with Yura Movsisian, Burrito Martinez, once again, has been fantastic to start this year. If this is Burrito Martinez at about 85% or so, I am absolutely frightened for Tyler Gibbons and the way his vines are going to destroy people's careers throughout the course of 2016.
All right, remember you can catch all of Saturday's action in Portland right here on KMYU. Kickoff at 8:30. Pregame with Dunny and I at 8 o'clock sharp. And to keep up with Dunny and I outside of the games and Thursday nights, follow us on social media. Find Dunny on Twitter and Instagram at Brian Dunseth and on Facebook at Brian Dunseth1. I am on Twitter and Facebook at David DJ James.
I highly suggest you pay attention coming out of Rio Tinto Stadium tomorrow for a little tidbit of information.
A little tidbit?
Just
You're
a little
selling
one.
it like it might be a bigger tidbit.
Just a little tease right
All
there.
right. Stay with us. The play of the day is coming up.